This story is Caps for Sale. This is one of the books that gets asked to be read over and over again, and it's a very long book, and I have used to have it memorized. I probably don't anymore, but they really did enjoy it, and hopefully I can get through it. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like any ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on the top of his head. First he had on his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray, then a bunch of brown and red and blue caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red one. He began to feel hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," thought he. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb his caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First his own checkered cap, then the gray, brown, blue, then the red caps on the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Something's different. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make his caps were all in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in the back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or red cap. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, shaking a finger at them. "You give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tss, tss, tss, tss." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both his hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook both their hands back and said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." Now he felt quite angry. He stomped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you better give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." By the time the peddler was really angry, he stomped both his feet and shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet and said back to him, "Tss, tss, 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 tss." At last he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. And all the gray caps and brown caps and blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, the brown caps, the blue caps, and the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end.